What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Spider-Man No Way Home's potential runtime. It is out there. Movie theaters are starting to put it, on their websites and stuff, but it could just be a placeholder, and that is a very high possibility. I've seen different outlets kind of suggest that. However, there are people definitely running with, no, this could, and also that's just a part of it, right? It could be that, but it also could very well be the actual runtime. Now, again, I've seen this floating around kind of everywhere. I do want to thank Marvel's reporter who sent me this first on Twitter, but basically the runtime is 2.5 hours on the dot, 2.5 hours, and I guess that equates to 150 minutes. So that's kind of part of the reason why people are thinking it could just be a placeholder time, is that it's an even number. It's nothing wacky like even 1 minute more, 2 hours and 31 minutes. And movies, they range all over the place. They don't always end. In fact, most of them don't end on like perfect, perfect numbers. A movie could end at like 2:53, right? Or 1:47. It doesn't have to end on like the quarter marks or like an even number, anything like that. And 2.5 hours would be pretty darn big. Now, here's the deal. There's not too much more you can say to that. Basically, again, there's movie theaters. I believe in like the UK. I don't think this is in America, but there are movie theaters that like on their website they're placing the runtime for Spider-Man, and people kind of found it, took screenshots, started to spread it online, so on. So there's really not much more you can read into it other than that. So we don't know, obviously, again, if it's true or not true, right? Until probably like November, December. I think we will obviously know about it with a reasonable time before the movie comes out. That is, as I've been saying, if the movie does come out in December, which hopefully, right, and things kind of are looking okay. So we'll have to just hold out hope. I don't want to jinx anything. Knock on some wood for me when you get the chance. I think it's a reasonable time. I don't think 2.5 hours is, well, it is long. There's no doubt about it. I think people can handle the time. I know there would be, maybe there's actually some studies out there. People don't have long attention spans, but honestly, not going down that, that road, even though that is a road you could go down. I think 2.5 hours is enough time and a good amount of time to go through the stuff that this movie needs to go through. The thing is, even from like the trailer, right? They're very clearly, there's at least like two big parts to this film. The first part is like everybody knowing, and I'm sure there's more, but like the big ones, everybody knowing he's Spider-Man, kind of going through that with MJ and stuff like that, getting to the Doctor Strange part to say, okay, like I've had enough, we need to kind of fix this, and anything that happens obviously in that first part. Then there's the second part where they made a major mistake, right? They messed up big time and they need to fix it. And not just that, but they just create, or well, we don't know if they created, or maybe Wanda did it in the background, or maybe that's when it happened with Loki, whatever actually caused the event. But now we're starting to get some crossover. We start to see Doc Ock, Green Goblin. We're going to get the other Spider-Man, stuff like that. And so that's a big movie. That's huge. And, it's very important, and we've talked about this in the past, right? It's very important in a movie that big. You got to be careful, because if you give too much screen time or just too much time in general to like everybody else besides Tom Holland, it's like, well, it is his Spider-Man movie, right? So you have to kind of divvy it up accordingly. And for these big movies, it happened for, the bigger Avengers movies where you could actually argue it happened for any Avengers movie, but especially towards the end when they're just adding and there's so many characters, they're not all going to get the screen time that you want. I guess the general goal is to get, obviously, I guess, isolate who you want to give screen time to or who needs it the most and kind of divvy it up, right? And those are always issues you're going to deal with in big movies or movies with a ton of characters, right? So that's something that Spider-Man is going to have to deal with. So I think 2.5 hours, like if it was 2 hours, it was like, I don't even know if it would ever be, lower than that, right? But when you enter like the 2-hour mark, that's decent time, and then obviously you keep going from there, depending on how much stuff you need to get done in your movie. So I like the runtime. I don't see anything wrong with it. Historically, my favorite movies tend to be longer, and I think I don't know, because I feel like a good movie, or movies that I end up liking, right? I probably end up liking because I spent so much time in that universe. So if you're spending 2.5 hours in the movie and then you end up like loving it, it probably is because you spent so much time there. But also, yeah, it does allow the movie to do a lot of different things, tell, I would say, like a longer story. You can kind of fill in gaps. Now, there is time to lose people in that, right? But ultimately, if you do it right, I think a longer movie is perfect, especially for me. Again, I kind of prefer it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think this is going to be the actual runtime, 2.5 hours even? Do you think maybe it's somewhere a little bit more, a little bit less? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. I do a brand new video on the channel every single day, and so I hope to see you guys for tomorrow's video.